Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing really well and welcome to today's 7th November 2024 Daily Decodes, where we'll discuss the Hindu newspaper in detail. And there are many important news, though if you see the international media today, national media today, even in the Hindu newspaper there were a lot of articles which were related to the victory of Donald Trump, or most importantly what would be the relationship of what would be the relationship of India and US post Trump's re-election and becoming the 47th president of America. So we'll be going towards that, but before I move to that particular important news, victory belongs to the most persevering. Napoleon Bonaparte said this, and you need to try continuously, you need to work upon it, then only you will get your victory. And Trump is one of the examples for it. People hate him, people like him, but he is only I think second president in the history who has become non-consecutive president in the American history, if my statistics are right. If there is anyone else, there's one more apart from him, which I think happened in 18th century. If you know the exact name and the dates, you can mention in the comment section, but non-consecutively he is the second one to become that. If there is someone else, there might be someone else, but most importantly in 2020 he said that he will be back to the US to become the US president again, and he has exactly done that. So from when I was going through the entire international media, what they were saying during the campaign, it looked like that Trump will lose the election, and Kamala Harris he had a huge amount of support. Falling celebrities were there, media was very supportive to her, and the campaign looked like that she will kill it and she will easily win the elections. But when the result came, Trump has not only won the presidential elections, the Republicans have captured the Senate, and Republicans, and most importantly, Trump has also won the popular vote. He has also won the popular vote, and he has become the first Republican president to do, Republican candidate and former president to do so in 20 years now. So this is a great achievement. Why I am talking about Trump specifically today is that victory belongs to the most persevering. There were two assassination attempts on him. One was very near to his ear, and then also he continued yesterday also in his speech said that I was saved by God because there must be something which great needs to be done. Good evening. I was waiting for this session. Okay, good evening sir. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. Yes, even I wanted to do this session, and it's we'll talk about a lot of things and how international geopolitics will change now, and I'm very certain about it. And as we proceed in the lecture, we'll talk about it. And coming back to Trump, even after assassination attempts against him, he continued, and today he is victorious. And if you go through the media, so left meltdown was there, and how the supporters of Trump were celebrating. All this was on the media, because there are certain channels or newspaper which in America sided with Kamala Harris, and certain were on the right side of it, or the left and right, because in American philosophy or American elections, if you see about Democrats are mostly left liberal, and if you see Republicans, they are on the right side of the center. So the media is also divided like this. Like if you see Fox News, Sky News, they are more towards Republicans, and CNN and many other channels are towards the Democrats. Liberal Democrats. Okay, so this was the thought, and why I wanted to say this thought in terms of that he continued, he won, and if you also work upon it, and many people will come and criticize. Donald Trump was criticized like anything, and probably might be some criticization might be 100% true. I'm not talking about criticization, I'm not talking about his victory, but most importantly his perseverance to fight and win the election. It was a similar thing which we saw in Haryana elections also. When the Haryana election was happening, including me, I even thought that the Congress alliance, or Congress will easily win the elections, but again something else happened in the Haryana elections. And similarly we saw in American elections or the US elections, which everyone in the world is watching. Why everyone in the world watches American election? Because it changes everything which happens economically, it changes everything which happens geopolitically, geopolitically, it changes everything which happens internationally, because that is the caliber, that is the terminal end, terminal start to terminal end, and that is how the American economy or the American military complexes, American defense or American military complexes command the entire. So from economy to defense to trade, they have even today they have a certain amount of global hegemony, though today it's being countered by Russia, China, or rather I should say BRICS nation. But again, this elections become very, very important. So Donald Trump marks historic comeback. What Trump 2.0 means for India and South Asia. Cabinet approves PM-Vidyalaxmi scheme for higher education. Autonomous surface vessel completes 1500-kilometer voyage from Mumbai to Thuthukudi in Tamil Nadu. US prelims impact. Today we'll understand what is Locus, standi, and editorial of West Asia under Donald Trump. Majority, since we'll move now towards the news, majorly if I see, there are certain areas which under Trump and with Modi, the Prime Minister Modi around, there are certain areas where we need to work, specifically protectionism and trade policies, but there are certain areas where the strengthening and bonding between India and America should improve. Like Quad is one example, or Elon Musk investment in India, the chances are would grow. Okay. So I hope, please do like, share the session. Please do like, share the session, and most importantly, the link of the PDF is given in the description. If you do not find the link, please do mention in the comments so that we can work upon it. Okay, so let's move towards the first news, what Trump 2.0 means for India. Before I proceed to this news, I have also taken clippings and additional points in this particular news, because this is a very important news, because next 6 to 10 months you will see how international geopolitics changes. For example, I'll just tell you, I just tell you that Trump and Trudeau does not go well together. But on the other hand, Democrats and Trudeau were very close to each other. Now the relationship of Trump has never been good with Trudeau. It has, and ipso facto, it might not be good with Khalistani. So I'm expecting, or even the news reports by Suhasini Hyderabad is also expecting that the relationship, specifically in terms of Khalistanis, should improve between India and Americans. But anyways, before that, former US President Republican Donald Trump made a historic comeback as he won the second term to become the 47th President of the United States. Okay. He comes from the Republican Party. He defeated the Democrat candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris, who ran a wonderful campaign. Kudos to ma'am, she ran a wonderful campaign. But again, the support which the Trump got from the white male, I don't want to go into the numbers because that are not related to our UPSC syllabus, but just to tell you, white males, white females, so he got a very good amount of support. From Latinos also he got a very good amount of support, which many of the Democrats said that he will not be getting that support, but he did get the support. He got the popular vote. They've got the Senate, and why Senate is important. Republicans also took control of the Senate. You need to understand, if you control Senate, so in US you have a Congress, and Congress is divided into two, House of Representatives, and then you've got Senate. Like we've got Parliament, and Parliament is divided into Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now they would have control over Senate. Once you have control over the Senate, you have control over many major appointments of bureaucracy, of judges, and you are able to clear a lot of bills. So since you are able to clear a lot of bills, for example, if the current government gets a majority in Lok Sabha and also in Rajya Sabha also, you are able to clear the bills very easily. So since you are able to clear the bills very easily, you can come with new acts or the acts which your particular government wants. So if the current, say NDA government gets the majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the passing of acts become very fast. Same goes here, and that is why I was talking about Senate. Okay. So Republican also took control of Senate. The first three leaders who got to speak to the President Trump, this is very major. The first three persons, or the first three major leaders of the government of the countries which spoke to him, one was Prime Minister Modi, second was Benjamin Netanyahu, and MBS, Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia. This also tells the camaraderie, this also tells the friendship between the Indian Prime Minister and the US president, even during the campaigns, he did mention that Modi is my dear friend, Modi is my friend, though in the additional statement he said that I have a problem with Indian tariffs, and to deal with India, Indians talk about their own interest, and to deal with India you need to be very smart. So tariffs is a problem which we will talk about in today's session also, and we need to deal with it. But overall, globally, it should be a good presidency under the term, which we can see, because he has categorically said that he is against wars, he wants to stop the Russia-Ukraine war, and more or less even I'm thinking Israel-Hamas war would come end in the future. So three important leaders, one coming from Saudi, one coming from Israel, and one coming from India, and three of them are top leaders when it comes to your global south, or most importantly the eastern periphery. When it comes to eastern periphery, three are very important leaders: Saudi, Israel and India. Okay, so Donald Trump, this is the tweet: congratulations on history's greatest comeback. Nobody was telling that nobody was telling that Trump can win the elections, but he not only won the election, he has decimated the opposition, and everybody saw that in the comeback. So in true friendship, your Benjamin and Sarah Netanyahu, again dear Donald and Melania Trump, as a friend, heartiest congratulations, my friend. In geopolitics and diplomacy, you need to understand when a prime minister of a country is writing my friend, not with everyone he would be writing his friend. That shows the camaraderie, that shows the bonding, and that shows the deep affinity between two of them. Okay, so on your historic election victory, as you build success of a previous term, I look forward for reviving our collaboration of further strengthen Indian-US comprehensive global and strategic partnership. Together, let's work for betterment of our people and promote global peace, stability and prosperity. You might remember we had the PM Howdy event, and Prime Minister at one point of time even supported for Abki Baar Trump Sarkar and all that. Okay. Sir, please use some Hindi words. I would love to, but see, the session is for everyone, and that is why we are using English language, so that everybody can understand. Okay. If you do not, Nimmi Bhardwaj, if you do not understand any particular English sentence or word, please let me know, I'll explain that. Don't worry about it. Good evening everyone, good evening. Okay, so what Trump 2.0 means for India and South Asia. So we would be doing crystal gazing. So I do crystal gazing, or the person who has written this article, Suhasini Hadar ma'am, or anyone, we would be doing crystal gazing, because we don't know what will happen. These are all predictions, because the actual presidency will start from January 2025. So these are all predictions on the basis of the statements or what Donald Trump said during the campaign. Certain times what he says during the campaign might be a rhetoric, and certain time it would be the most important policies he'll come up with. So what he has done in the previous presidency term and what we can expect through his speeches, that is what we are trying to gauge. So Donald Trump becomes the 47th president of the America. The Indian PM had previously supported Trump, referring to him positively during his first tenure. India expected to welcome 2.0 strengthening of bilateral ties, specifically from defense point of view, technology point of view. More integration of defense will happen, more technology transfer can happen, and India is looking for around 112 multi-role fighter aircrafts coming off Trump. I personally feel that the chances of India buying fighter aircraft, multi-role fighter aircraft from America, chances might be very high. Who knows, we do get F-35. Chances would be very, very high now. So caution regarding use of social media for diplomacy and aggressive trade policies. Yes, two areas where we need to work upon is that Trump in his speeches is that even his campaign was MAGA campaign, that is make America great again. So his entire focus is on America. So in this way, he might go for aggressive trade policies or protectionist policies, that the money should come to America, America should become the richest and everything. In this might be a conflict between India and America, which we need to sort it out. And I'm very sure with the kind of relationship we share between both the leaders, Modi and Trump, we would be able to resolve it, unlike China. Social media. Now, the problem with Trump is that Trump, when it comes to social media, he has a habit of, even in the previous term, he used to write anything on Twitter, and he used to exaggerate also, and sometimes what he said and what he means were two different things. So we need to have curtailing of social media usage. So deep affinity between the two leaders. I've already told you, PM called Trump a friend, indicating positive personal rapport. PM emphasized mutual global peace, stability and prosperity. And one good thing is that before this election, he was the only president of America who spoke about the Hindu minority rights which are being curtailed in many countries, including Bangladesh. Now what is happening in Bangladesh, so many Hindus are being killed or butchered, or their shops being looted. So many videos have come out, and every time you go to Muhammad Yunus, he says this is not a religious persecution, but rather this is a political persecution, when videos are very clear what it is, but no action is being taken against him. Now in this particular tweet which he did, everybody knows that he was targeting Muhammad Yunus. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Now he getting the presidency, things will definitely change, and I think it's not a very good news for Muhammad Yunus, who was very close to Democrats, who was very close to Bill Clinton, who was very close to for that matter, even with Joe Biden recently, both of them had met and even hugged together. So PM emphasized mutual goals of global peace, stability and prosperity. So stability in the neighboring parts of the neighboring countries like Bangladesh. So America's stance related to Bangladesh will change, which I feel. So PM relations, so Prime Minister has worked with Barack Obama, Donald Trump, first term, Joe Biden, along with Trump, and with the Trump, the camaraderie was good. So, you know, there was a meme which was circulating on Instagram, that, you know, that POTUS keep on changing but Lotus remains. So POTUS, that, you know, so many presidents have gone, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, first term, Joe Biden, and Trump has come again. So POTUS kept on changing, but Lotus is still the same. So it was a meme which was circulating, and again, so he started, the Donald Trump is coming for a second presidency, and still the Prime Minister of the country is Modi in that terms. So PM Trump shared particularly strong personal chemistry marked by events like Howdy Modi rally in Texas and Ahmedabad Stadium rally when Donald Trump was in India. Trump's familiarity with the New Delhi. Now New Delhi, the good part about New Delhi is that New Delhi knows how Trump behaves, how Trump thinks, how Trump administration works, and so they know what they are expecting. So, and even the Americans know that, you know, how Indian administration works. So this time they would be working very closely again with each other. They know each other's style, and most importantly, the areas where the problem are like trade and protectionist policy, I'm sure some good things will come out of it. Okay. So trade and technology, so smooth aspects, these are the areas where the good things will happen. We don't have any problem. Trade and technology, America, or for example, Donald Trump is always say that, you know, you reduce tariffs. You reduce tariffs, if you increase tariffs, I will also increase tariffs. If you don't reduce it, I will also not reduce it, I will increase it. So he's talking about, I think he'll push more on free trade agreement negotiation with India, increasing access to US technology and military hardware. This will certainly happen. I think number of weapons which we might buy now from America, in the 4 years of presidency under Trump, it would increase. So Predator drones we are already getting. We got the choppers from them during the Biden presidency. But here I'm expecting that the news which is of 112 multi-role fighter aircrafts which Indian Air Force needs specifically when the squadrons are getting depleted, and to counter China and Pakistan, I think chances of getting a fighter aircraft from America might increase. And if we are able to get F-35, nothing like it. The F-35 is very costly. But if you remember, Israel used F-35 to bombard the military establishments of Iran, and the signature or the radar signature of F-35 is so small that the radars are not even able to capture it. So Iran was just using, you know, just putting buttons, using buttons and sending ballistic missiles. Israel on the other hand went with so many of fighter planes into the Iranian airspace and and decimated the military air bases or military establishments of Iran, and that is what F-35 stands for. You know, the radar signature is so small, radar blip is so small that it can't be captured by the radars, and in that way if we are able to get, it's a 5th generation stealth fighter aircraft. Let's see if that would be able, if India is able to get that. Energy sector, Trump will likely to encourage India should invest more in US oil and LNG projects and the continuation of Driftwood LNG plant in Louisiana. So Trump would be expecting that he again and again in yesterday's speech he said that I want to make America great again. I will revive what America used to stand, and this would be the golden era. And for all this golden era, he's also focusing about more oil drilling in America. So when he's talking about more oil drilling in America, so he probably would want that India or any other country should invest in it. Human rights and democratic norms. So when it came to Biden administration, when it was on human rights and democratic norms, so they frequently raise these issues with in the context of India, but in context of Trump administration, there would be less emphasis on human rights and democratic concern, specifically vis-a-vis India. Khalistan separatism in Canadian relation or Canada relation. So this is something which India can have a sigh of relief, but because under Justin Trudeau, I've already covered Justin Trudeau, Khalistan in the previous lectures. Go and watch. I've covered thoroughly what is Justin Trudeau stands for, what is Khalistan, what is the current Khalistani problem. I think even day before yesterday I was covering that particular news. Okay. So, history of cold relation with Canadian PM Justin Trudeau may favor India amid its diplomatic tension with Canada over Khalistan activism. So, what I feel is that first of all, Donald Trump does not like Trudeau and his politics, and Donald Trump, you know, he is a businessman. Let's understand, Trump is a businessman, and even his Vice President J.D. Vance, he has also told that we are not interested in indulging in wars or rather fighting any war. We are interested in making weapons, having a good military. If need arises, we'll fight, but we are not interested in wars. That's a straight away stand of the Republican president and vice president. And he has also said that we don't want to do what happened in 2003 Iraq war, where we went for weapons of mass destruction, but except George Bush, nobody knew where those weapons of mass destruction existed and nobody was able to find that out. So in this context, coming back to this news, so now this problem of Khalistan, and I've told you in previous lecture, this is the Khalistan is the imaginary land they are talking about. So that land which they want to cut from India and Pakistan, they are not getting it. If they don't get it, probably they will start these movements in America or in Canada, and it can turn into internal conflict there. And as per my view, when it comes to Republicans, the Trump is expected to take a firm stance against Khalistanis group and also against Gurpan Singh Pannu. So in my view, it should be that Trump would be more favored towards India and against these extremist Khalistani terrorist groups and try to derail them or try to control them or try to finish them. Only time will tell, but what we saw in the statements given in the campaigns and his previous policies, this is what the shift should be. Trade tariffs, this is an issue which we need to, this is a problem area which India and the Americans need to resolve, because Indians, you know, when the American goods are coming to India, we put a lot of tariff and we put a lot of taxes because we want to save our domestic manufacturers. So America is saying that you do this, but initially they used to give us, you know, something called GSP, that is Generalized System of Preference. What is GSP? So it promotes economic development in, you know, around 119 countries by eliminating duties. For example, I am making goods, I go to America and I say that I am under GSP, I am a developing country, I don't have so much of money. So they'll put me under GSP of XYZ, whatever the ABCD conditions are there, if I'm filling those conditions. And because of this, no import duty would be put against me and I would be able to sell my products. And since there is no major import duty, I can compete with the products there. So eliminating duties on thousands of products when imported from one of the 119 designated beneficiary countries and territories. So GSP is one of the old laws which exist in America. Now India was removed, so it removed India's general GSP status under the Trump, because Trump was saying that India is putting lot of tariff and taxes on the American goods, but they are utilizing our system and their manufacturers or their exporters are able to make money. So this is an area where this problem of duty and taxes, both the government, both the diplomats and both the economists from each side or the financial, the finance ministry or the financial heads can sit and resolve these particular issues. So Trump has promised a tariff on all imports including Indian goods such as medicines and engineering products worth approximately $75 billion. Now this is a huge amount of money, and you need to realize that China is the biggest trading partner of India, and after China the biggest trading partner of India is America. So America and China are both important, but since the news is about America, America is the second largest trader. trading partner of India. So this policy could impact Indian exports, but it will not escalate into significant trade conflict. Trade conflict of America under Trump will happen with China. Even in his last presidency, the trade conflict between China and America started during last presidency only, that when he came around 2016. And you also need to realize that even during this campaign, he has categorically said that he would be putting a lot of taxes and tariff on Chinese goods. Even Elon Musk is having a lot of problem in China. So this problem of China is an opportunity to India, because if a lot of companies move from China, if they are not going back to America, though Trump wants that they should do manufacturing, everything in America, but not every company would be able to move to America, they might shift their base to India. If they shift their base to India, that would be good for Indian economy. So Trump's stance on curbing work permits, this can be an issue. H-1B work visas. So he's against those visas because he says that if people from other countries come to America, the American citizens are not able to get the job, or local people are not able to get the job. This is one area which India needs to work upon them. So it might affect Indian H-1B visa holders. Then supply chains and semiconductor collaboration. Now India and US were working on collaboration on semiconductor plants in India. Now Trump has previously criticized offshore production, and he even in his speeches was talking about making America great again under the MAGA campaign that imposed taxes on American companies producing abroad. So he is talking about that whichever American company is working outside, it should come to India, it should come back to America and produce there. So these are areas: supply chain, semiconductor, H-1B visas, protectionist measures and trade policies. These are the areas which India needs to talk with America, and I'm very confident that the kind of chemistry we share, the Modi and Trump share with each other, around 70 to 80% of the problems will be resolved. There is no doubt about it. Even India would need to give something to gain something, and we need to see the larger perspective geopolitically, economically, strategically, defense, and even otherwise. Disclosing private conservations, Trump tendency, again, we need to be very clear that whatever happens in closed room, it should not come out. Like, I just told you in the starting of the lecture, Trump has the habit of putting everything on social media. We need to curtail it. Specifically, when India was putting a lot of tariff on Harley Davidson hydroxychloroquine exports, as well as unapproved comments on Kashmir mediation and India-China border tension. I think it's the second tenure. Hopefully Trump will act more mature this time. Okay, so I hope everyone has understood till here. Okay. Middle East. Trump efforts in normalizing ties with Arab state and Israel benefited India. Okay, this was good part for India, that he was, in 2020 you got Abraham Accords, and Israel and many countries in the Middle East, they were moving towards peace. It's in 2024, rather it started from 7th October 2023, the Israel war, and the Democrats were not able to find a solution. Rather, they are giving a broken Middle East to Trump to repair and to fine tune it. So let's see what he will be able to do. And this particular part which I have just spoken, this would be today's editorial also. So leading to this Trump effort in normalizing ties in Arab state led to I2, U2. So U2 was UAE and US, and I2 was India and Israel. So India became a major partner in Middle East during the Trump era. These were wonderful steps being taken. Abraham Accords happened, I2, U2 was happening, we were moving towards peace. 2023 comes and we all know what happens. 2022, Russia-Ukraine war starts. 2023, Israel, Hamas and all these wars starts, and the world is in turmoil. So India and US are also building a shipping corridor to Europe via the Middle East, India-Middle East Economic Corridor, and I think this would be pushed even more by Trump. So I've added what is I2 U2 initiatives. So Abraham Accords happens in 2020, then I2 U2 comes in 2021. It focuses on maritime security, infrastructure, transport in the region. So Israel, UAE, US and India are partners for it. So I2 U2, I2 stands for, I2 means India and Israel, U2 stands UAE and USA. Okay, initially it was called International Forum for Economic Cooperation, and that was referred as West Asian Quad. So if a prelims question come, so that is why UPSC impact. So with the geopolitical news, we're also covering the part which comes in a prelims question. So India, US, Iran, now this would be a tricky part. though under, around 2018 when the sanctions started on Iran, under the Trump policy, he withdrew from joint, this JCPOA, that is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or Iran nuclear deal. He walked out of it, and then he pressurized India that don't buy oil from Iran. India stopped buying oil from Iran and even from Venezuela. Now India is highly invested in Chabahar port. Now how India would be able to find the right route to walk on this tightrope between Iran and America would be something, again, only diplomacy will tell, and again the time will tell, because I don't think so that that under Trump Iran relation can become better. It should, but let's see, because the last tenure was not like it. And if you see the Iran currency, it has gone down like anything after the Trump victory. Now it comes to India, Russia and IMEC. So India-Russia relations under Trump should be decent, because he has a very good, even the Donald Trump has called Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, genius. He has told him that he's a genius. So India may now expect a reduction in pressure on its ties with Russia, and will look to Trump to support in Middle Eastern peace to aid the India-Middle East-Europe economic corridor. So IMAC should be pushed, I2, U2 should be pushed, Quad should be pushed. Rather, Quad, which started somewhere in 2007, was lying in slumber. It was only in 2017 that it was revived by under the American presidency, Trump and Indian leaders and others. What is IMAC? So if you see India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, then going to Israel and towards Europe, again lot of trade, and this is also then you are there. We have also completed that North-South transport corridor. So if these corridors get completed, there is something which we will benefit. Okay. So it is a planned economic corridor that aims to improve trade and economic between Asia, Europe and Persian. IMEC is part of partnership for, again a factual part, partnership of Global Infrastructure and Invest PGI, which was launched in June 2022. So implication for Pakistan, I don't think so it's a great days, because even in the last tenure he had, he kept on criticizing Pakistan. He stopped the aid to Pakistan, though that aid was restarted by Biden administration or Democrats, but the time would not be good. Neither it's good for Bangladesh, neither it's good for Pakistan. The Pakistan tendency to ask funds from IMF and get those funds would become tough. They might be pushed back into the grey list or blacklist. So likely to face US aid and potential loss of support from IMF and World Bank loans. And when it comes to Bangladesh, Trump has categorically said what is happening with minority Hindus in Bangladesh, and his stand looks very much clear. So Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus recently criticized by Trump over minority rights issues. So these two countries, which are currently a problem for India, and Pakistan has been from time immemorial. So let's see what comes out. So his coming of Trump good for India in these two. Russia and China, I think there would be a stable relationship with Russia. Aggressive stance on China. So if there is a problem in China, if the trade is shifting, it might become very good for India, because Trump previous term was marked by strong rhetoric against China, trade clashes, and this time even before the election he was continuously saying that. So his return may continued US support for India in conflicts with China, which would be very good. Countries like Nepal, Bhutan and Maldives, where Democrats were very much interested, I don't think so Republicans or Trump would be interested. US attention compared to the Biden administration, which increased outreach efforts in South Asia. Trump would be interested in specifically those countries where he can do business. He's a businessman, he's looking for business. So he's not looking for wars, because when war happens, the entire businesses get disrupted. A lot of business get disrupted. So that is why he would want that the Iran-Israel war should also come to an end, because otherwise the oil prices can rise because of Strait of Hormuz if there's a problem between Israel and Iran. So in that way he would want the inflation to be less, because economically, inflation wise, unemployment wise, Americans are suffering. Okay. So with this we complete this news. I hope I've covered the entire what can happen in Southeast Asia and even Russia and China and many other angles. So evaluate the potential challenges or opportunities for India in relation with the US under Donald Trump or the current current president. Focus on trade, energy and regional diplomacy. By current president I mean he would be taking over the presidency in January 2025. PM-Vidyalaxmi scheme for higher education gets nod. So wonderful news coming for, so a scheme has come, PM-Vidyalaxmi scheme for higher education, approved by the Union Cabinet, chaired by the PM, and this central sector scheme support to meritorious student for higher education. So they would be getting financial help, be in the terms of interest subvention or loans without the collateral. So they would be getting a budget outlay of 3,600 crore is allocated for scheme from 2024 to 2031. Around 7 lakh students will benefit specifically for interest subvention during this period. Now, most importantly, what is the eligibility to come under this scheme? Students securing admission in any of the top 860 quality higher education institution. And how do you identify that this is that your institution is coming in these 860 institutions? That will be depending on the NIRF rankings. So it can be a government institution, it can be a private institution. Student can avail collateral free and guarantor free loans. This is a wonderful step specifically from education point of view. Yesterday we were doing an editorial where we were talking about the STEM sciences and how teaching methodology needs to be changed. So in this context, obviously this is not related to teaching, but this is a student friendly supportive environment being generated. Okay. So students can avail collateral free. The scheme will cover approximately 22 lakh students. So that 7 lakh student is basically for interest subvention part. Overall 22 lakhs in terms of loans also. So for loan up to, for example, let's understand the scheme in detail. For loans up to 7.5 lakh, 75% credit guarantee is given, rest you need to get it, enabling banks to offer loan without collateral. So for 7.5 lakh, the 75% of the money would be given and you don't need to give any collateral for it. So collateral is that when you go for a bank to take loan, you need to give collateral. It can be in terms of property or any other thing. So for students with an annual family income of up to 8 lakh, so your family income is 8 lakh and you're not benefiting from any other government scholarship or interest subvention scheme, for you can have a 3% interest subvention. That interest subvention would happen available on loans up to 10 lakh. So here it was 7.5, here it is 10 lakh during the moratorium period. This interest subvention will support 1 lakh student, and that is why it would be supporting 1 lakh students annually. That is why from 2024 to 2031, it would be supporting 7 lakh students specifically for interest subvention. Everyone understood till here? Yes or no? Okay. Good. And I hope that everybody knows what is interest subvention. Interest is that, for example, you have taken a loan of 100 rupees and the interest is 10%. So you have to pay, for example, 110 rupees. This 10 rupees is interest. So you don't have to pay this 10 rupees. That is what we call interest subvention. The interest over this loan. Okay, interest over the principal amount. That is what we call interest subvention. Scheme applies to QHEAIs, that is Quality Higher Education Institution, which would be ranked as per National Institutional Ranking Framework. So NIRF ranking, NIRF works under your Ministry of Education. So NIRF is a ranking methodology which is released by Ministry of Education annually, and it ranks institution on higher education in India. Now there are 3 major category of institution which will come under these categories. All HEIs, that is higher education institution marked with top 100 in NIRF ranking, be it overall or category wise or domain specific list. So it can be overall or it can be category, means they are the best colleges, best 100 colleges of science, best 100 colleges of arts, best 100 colleges of particular stream. So even if that college comes in that, you would be able to get that. Okay. Moving forward, all central governed institutions will also come under this. State government run HEIs, higher education institution ranked between 101 to 200 will also come. So with this we move further. So completed. So which of the following statements only government, only student for, not government, private and government. Rest second and third statement are correct. Scheme provides 3% entrance subvention, 10 lakh for eligible, correct. And IRF rankings determine eligible institution. So second and third statement are correct and first statement is wrong, because only student from government institution not, but private and government institution both. So 2 and 3 are right. Next is JPC is meeting in groups with no locus standi on Waqf issue Muslim Law Board. So JPC we have already covered in the previous lecture. You can go and watch in Daily Decodes. Even some part of Waqf board amendment we were covered. Today we'll understand what is locus standi. So with every news I would be trying to cover this particular word which can come in any of the UPSC examination, CDS, CAPF, or most importantly the UPSC CSE Prelims. So what is locus standi? So locus standi can be understood as the legal capacity to challenge legislation, order or decision. So before the 1980s, what used to happen? Say there is an order which has come or there is a law which has come. If it is affecting me, that I am the affected party, only I can go in the court and appeal against it. But later on this got changed, and even if I am getting affected, but I don't have the capacity to fight that, that particular law, or I don't have the money to fight it, I don't have the lawyers to fight, so somebody on my behalf can also fight this out. So most importantly, before 1980s, the only affected parties had the locus standi, standing required in the law, that if I am affected by this particular law, order or decision, then only I can go in the court and fight against that decision, to file a case and continue the litigation. And non-affected person, so if there is a non-affected person, for example, today this principle has become something called PIL, public interest litigation, that if there is a particular issue which might not be directly infringing your right, but it is infringing people's right, a lot of people, you can go to Supreme Court, High Court and fight against that. So non-affected person had no locus standi to do so. So traditional rule of locus standi was liberalized, and it gave way today, which we talk about, public interest litigation. So it was liberalized by the case of SP Gupta versus Union of India 1981, and this question has come in UPSC paper, that which was the case under which the principle of locus standi became liberalized. When it talks about liberalized, it is basically talking about public interest litigation, and it became liberalized under SP Gupta versus Union of India 1981 case. So public interest litigation in India, basically it refers any member of public having sufficient interest can approach the court to enforce the rights of other person and redress a common grievance. So it is not necessary you are affected, but in large, if people are getting affected, you can go to the court and fight for it. Rest I have given in detail, you can read and cover. Let's move to next news. Autonomous surface vessel completes 1500 kilometer voyage. Okay. So wonderful news again coming from autonomous vehicles. So Sagar Mala Parikrama, it's an autonomous surface vessel. So it traveled from Mumbai to Thottugudi in Tamil Nadu. So autonomous surface vessel voyage from Mumbai to Thottugudi in Tamil Nadu. The autonomous surface vessel journey named Sagar Mala Parikrama. So it's autonomous, it's automatic in nature, completed 1500 kilometer voyage from Mumbai to Thottugudi in Tamil Nadu. This journey was flagged off by Defence Minister on October 29, 2024 during the Swalamban, an annual event organized by NEO, that is Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization. Okay, this Swalamban particular news we had covered when this event was about to happen. Now we are completing the news what happened in this particular event. So, Saga Defence Engineering developed the vessel which completed the journey without human intervention. Again, autonomous, without human intervention. So, we are moving towards automated technology, and if we can integrate AI in this in future, even better. The first of its kind achievement in India marks a significant milestone in autonomous maritime technology and emphasizes the country's growing expertise in unmanned space unmanned system for national security. And that is why in the start of the Trump lecture I was talking about Trump news that we are getting Predator drones, again autonomous system. Autonomous system are the future, automatic systems are the future, integration of AI are the future, because we are getting into 5th generation warfare, grey zone warfare, hybrid warfare. In these terms, these weapons and these system and these technology are very important. This current technology which Sagar Defense Engineering is doing, this can be used for both civilian and defense purposes. Okay, so the project was supported by Indian Navy, particularly Neo Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization. Okay. Then you had TDAC, Technology Development Acceleration Cell. So this is a small group of officers of Indian Navy which basically focuses on smart technologies, and they want to get those technologies ASAP. Okay, so they work on nimble strategies. Then you have got IDEX initiative under Defense Innovation Organization. Indian Navy provided testing facilities and operational feedback essential to the vessel's successful journey. So this technology aligns with both global advancement in autonomous surface underwater system for both military and civilian sectors, and obviously this technology can be used for littoral patrols, that is sea patrols, coastal services, anti-piracy operation, and that is why high speed interdiction is there, low intensity maritime operation. This achievement expands Indian Navy's operational reach, future deployment in critical sea lanes, coastal surveillance and anti-piracy operations. Okay. So the autonomous surface vessel completed 1500 km without human aid from Mumbai to Chennai, not Chennai, it was Mumbai to Thothugudi in Tamil Nadu. I hope I am pronouncing it right. If I am pronouncing it wrong, I am really sorry. The project was supported by Indian Navy. This is correct. The technology developed can be applied to both military. 2 and 3 statements are, second and third statements are correct. First statement is wrong. Now let's come to editorial, the last important news for today. So this is again a West Asia under Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump is inheriting a West Asia which is right now in turmoil, which is right now fighting with each other, and that is what the reality, it is what it is, which Donald Trump is getting. So with Joe Biden's single term presidency ending, he leaves behind a volatile West Asia where there's a problem between Israel, Hamas, Israel, Hezbollah, Israel, Houthis, and Israel and Iran. Even Iran right now vying to attack back, tooth-breaking or nose-breaking attack against Israel they are talking about, which they should not, because if they want to if they want to find a ceasefire, want to find a solution, they should not be giving these rhetoric statements. So this is exacerbated by Israel's ongoing war on Palestinians in Gaza. 7th October, a major attack happened on Israel, a major terror attack by Hamas. And after that, what happened? Biden was not able to control this Gaza war. Rather, it has become a protracted war. And protracted war in Gaza, reputational damage and widening conflict across West Asia. So before I go further, so in war there are 2 types of escalation. One is horizontal escalation and other is vertical escalation. So vertical escalation is that, for example, I am using I'm using a stick, but you start using a gun. Then I get AK-47, you get a better or a bigger gun. So in this way, I am using tanks, and on the other side, you started using missiles, or you start using. So vertical escalation is basically dependent on what kind of ammunition you are using. So weapons wise, the vertical escalation will go up. Horizontal escalation is very dangerous. Like if you talk about Russia-Ukraine war, there is no horizontal escalation. Horizontal escalation means that currently the war is happening between Russia and Ukraine in the boundaries. But if it starts spreading to other countries also, like countries in Europe, that would be called horizontal escalation, which is currently happening in Middle East. So it was initially Israel and Hamas, then Israel and Houthis, then Israel and Lebanon, and then Israel and Iran. So it is horizontally escalating, and this happened during the Biden's tenure. And since Biden was not able to control it, and neither his administration, this is said that one of the reasons that they were not able to get the votes of Arabs or Muslims, which Kamala Harris was not able to get, because she was carrying the baggage or the burden or what Biden administration was doing. So from where we can get the previous current affair video? So all these current affair video, you go to the live session. So live session, you will get all the previous video. I have asked the team, so Insights team would be creating a playlist, in which that playlist you will get all the previous video. For now, you can go to the on the Insights YouTube channel, go to the live video section, you will get all the previous videos. Okay. So coming back, so this we have covered. Now over 43,000 Palestinian casualties in Gaza in this spill over Lebanon. This is continuing. I've just covered this. US faces criticism for complicity, what has been described as genocide against Palestinians, undermining American diplomacy, and these were one of the major areas which the Biden administration could not handle and could not answer, and hence what happened in the election, we saw that. So in the last presidency, when Donald Trump was there, he moved the US embassy to Jerusalem, recognized Israel annexation of Golan Heights, exited the Iran nuclear deal, shifted US policy toward direct confrontation. Most importantly, was there any war in that period in this area? No, there was no any war. He was also trying to resolve the North Korean issue, though the results did not come, and obviously his presidency was also over. 4 years is a very less time, which I feel in a presidency. But this time, when he is entering the presidency, even before entering the presidency, he said that these wars should be over. And even at this point of time, he gave a peace plan to the Israel-Palestinian, but Palestinians said that this plan is more favoring Israel. Now let's see what kind of plan he comes up with, but I personally feel that be it the Iran-Israel war or the Russia-Ukraine war, we are moving these wars towards a terminal end, and therefore a terminal end will come. And I think Zelensky, after this election result, he should not be very happy about it, because Trump has categorically said that he, given a chance, he would end that war in 24 hours. And his chemistry with Putin will only help that. So, initiated the Abraham Accords, fostering alliances between Israel and several Arab states against Iran. This was a wonderful step, and it was not appreciated. For example, if the same step would have been taken by Barack Obama, who was given Nobel Peace Prize, I highly question that, and many geopolitical analysts highly question why was he given a deal which was broken in nature from the start, and even when Iran was making nuclear weapons. But most importantly, Abraham Accords, if Trump would have got 4 more years, there could have been better peace in this area. Abraham Accords, Israel, which has always been anti these West Asian countries, and West Asian countries used to hate Israel, and Abraham Accords happening in 2020, this was a wonderful step which was done. But again, this was the photo, you can see Bibi here, Netanyahu, Donald Trump and other leaders. So several Arab states including UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco, they came together to normalize relation between Israel and several Arab states. It could have, entire West Asia could have change. Let's see if that time can come, because if this happens, then India Middle East Economic Corridor or the North-South Transport Corridor, we can see a very good future of trade, economy, prosperity and jobs. If this happens, again everything is depending if this happens. So accords were named Abraham Accords because Abraham is a common figure which comes in Jews, Islam and even in Christianity. So avoiding all-out war, Biden attempted to isolate Gaza conflict without success, leaving Trump to navigate a complex landscape. Trump opposes prolonged military engagement. VP J.D. Vance has condemned US intervention in 2003 Iraq invasion, and same continues. So, and again, when it comes to inflation and cost of living, Trump focus is to reduce them. If he fights war, inflation will only increase. So he would want that to stop further raising inflation. Trump's primary focus would be likely to remain, America's main arch rival is China, not Russia, not Iran. So it is important that he stops Russia-Ukraine war, he stops the Israel-Iran war. If these two wars are stopped, then only Europe and America can concentrate on China. China is a bigger threat, not these countries. And that is what he would try to do. So will Trump maintain Biden policies or recalibrate? I personally feel he would recalibrate. With America's reputation damaged, Trump may need to assertive in mediating peace. He will try to convince Benjamin Netanyahu, because Benjamin Netanyahu just fired his defense minister, and there was a huge roar in his, he was a hue and cry in Israel about that. Trump pro-Israel impulses may drive his policy, but he would try to find a balanced approach also. So this is a question related to your mains. Examine the potential challenges and foreign policy consideration that the new US president may face in restoring stability in West Asia. If Trump adopts a pro-Israel stance similar to his first, I don't think so he would be favoring too much war, but only time will tell. So in Titbits, you've got Anil Pradhan from Odisha. He gets the Rohini Nair prize for his outstanding contribution to rural development, and the prize is given in memory of the eminent economist, come with a cash award of 10 lakh, citation and a trophy. And when it comes to economics, today even again a lot of news from Trump. NASSCOM is very happy that we can engage with Trump administration. Trump 2.0 may bring new opportunities in terms of technology and other transfer. So this was the major news for today in Extra Mile. A win that will affect global economy. You can go through this particular news also. So with this we complete today's analysis. I hope you did like this session. Today in this session I had taken news from even other newspapers, specifically the Suhasini Heather news. I had taken pointers from others because that news had limited information, and I wanted to give you an entire perspective what the relation between Trump and India can be, or Trump and Modi can be, or India and America can be after his presidency, though his presidency term will start in January 2025 only. So with this, sayonara guys, see you tomorrow at the same time 7 p.m. The link of the PDF is given in description. Please like and share the session. One question was asked, sorry I was not able to cover that news, that food corporation, because there were too many news, bigger news, so probably I had missed that particular news. And thank you very much. Jai Hind, take care, sayonara.